So-called anti-5G pendants and accessories that were supposed to, quote unquote, protect people from 5G networks have been found to be radioactive, thus dangerous to those who wear them for a long period of time. Now, this is of course in response to governments across the world who are starting to establish infrastructure to accommodate faster internet speeds through 5G. And a range of groups have essentially emerged to spread all sorts of crazy conspiracy theories about 5G. Some of them include that 5G is what's spreading COVID. Others allege that 5G is the cause of anything from headaches to immunodeficiencies. And so, of course, that creates a market for products that are supposed to protect you from 5G. And now we're learning that some of these products are actually incredibly unsafe. So let's talk about that. There's a Dutch authority, the Dutch Authority for Nuclear Safety, for instance, Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection, issued a warning about 10 products it found gave off harmful ionizing radiation. It urged people not to use the products, which could cause harm with long-term wear. In fact, here's what they said. Exposure to ionizing radiation can cause adverse health effects. It can damage tissue and DNA. It can cause, for example, a red skin. Only low levels of radiation have been measured on these specific products. However, someone who wears a product of this kind for a prolonged period, for up to a year, 24 hours a day, could expose themselves to a level of radiation that exceeds the stringent limit for skin exposure that applies in the Netherlands. So I've got more details in just a second, but I don't think we have anti-5G conspiracy theorists in the audience, but on the off chance that we do, just make sure that your conspiracy theory isn't harming you and your kids. Okay, because it turns out that what you believe in is actually causing damage to your body, damage to your family members' bodies, because you've just bought into this notion that 5G is dangerous and is causing harm. There's no evidence of that.
So, guys, let's be helpful, right? So, for example, when people were saying that OxyContin was dangerous and the pharmaceutical companies were pushing it just to make a profit, I believed them. Well, back then, some people were calling that a conspiracy theory, right? So why did I believe them on Oxy, but I don't believe the conspiracy theories on vaccines or 5G? Well, research. So look, you could find any rando online saying I did research and I ran into Jim Jablowski on Facebook and he blogged about it, isn't actually research, okay? So when you see the weight of what doctors and scientists say, that's research. So for example, on Oxy, there was already reports out many years ago of studies that showed it was far too addictive and that it was causing all these problems. Those studies came out and then the pharmaceutical companies tried to create doubt, okay? And you could see how they spent money on lobbyists, politicians, etc. But the studies were clear and the scientists were now saying, watch out, it's really addictive and causes problems. Now, in the case of 5G, every scientist says it's not true. Mm-hmm. Maybe you found rando Jim Bob scientists, again, on wherever you found them, but if 99% of the world's scientists say something, it is likely to be true.
Yeah.
And so, if there was something wrong with 5G, I tell you, okay, there's nothing wrong with 5G. And all these things take root because nobody believes in media anymore, or traditional
institutions,
media.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, one body of people that tries to calm everyone's nerves on this very issue is the World Health Organization. So let me go to their statement. So the World Health Organization has said that 5G is safe and there is nothing fundamentally different about the physical characteristics of the radio signals produced by 5G compared to those produced by 3G and 4G. Despite this, an industry suggesting that certain types of jewelry, including one product mentioned in the Dutch alert that claims to utilize pure minerals and volcanic ash that are extracted from the earth, has emerged, right? And so one of those products, by the way, let's go to graphic 3, is this quantum pendant. And this is supposed to be the pendant that protects people from 5G.
Yeah.
Do you have a quantum pendant, anti-5G pendant, or a negative ion jewelry item or sleep mask? If so, store it safely or store it away safely, because it can cause actual physical harm to you if you're wearing it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, for as long as a year. And look, this is so part and parcel of what we see happening, not just in terms of 5G, but also with coronavirus. Conspiracy theories create an opening for grifters to come in and sell all sorts of garbage. In the case of coronavirus, the conspiracy theories made way for the use of a dewormer as either a prophylactic or a treatment for COVID, something that has not been proven to actually work as either a preventative measure or a treatment for coronavirus. And of course, I'm talking about ivermectin. And there are all these doctors making all this money off of prescribing ivermectin, knowing full well that it is not a scientifically proven treatment for coronavirus. You got some parasites in you, you have parasitic infection, it'll work for that. It's not gonna work for coronavirus. But again, grifters are gonna grift. The incentives are always in the wrong place. And in this case, hey, conspiracy theories, big business.
Yeah, so I don't know who I'm more mad at. Like guys like Jimmy Dore who are purposely doing grifting because he did the anti-vaccine videos and they didn't get enough views and money. I'm sorry, he did the pro-vaccine ones and they didn't get enough views and money.
Right.
So now he does the vaccine skeptical ones. That gets more views and money. So all of a sudden there's 20 of those. And he's clearly just a loser who is just out for money and has no principles at all and will do anything for money.
Yep.
Or a guy like Joe Rogan who doesn't need the money and who I don't think is a grifter, but has decided, no, this is the hill I'm gonna die on. And so ivermectin is a great example because there was a study on ivermectin. I just told you studies are relevant when scientists actually study something or doctors do, et cetera, and they publish it through a publication that's been vetted and other people have had a chance to look at it. The study on ivermectin having a positive effect on coronavirus was pulled because it was wrong. Now, did Joe tell you that? Did Jimmy tell you that? No, they don't tell you that. A lot of times they still quote that story, that study that was pulled. Is there a meta study? Meta studies are more reliable because they combine a number of different studies into one analysis. So you have a lot more information, a lot more data. Are there any meta studies that show that ivermectin helps you with coronavirus? No, there's not even a single study. Only one got pulled because it was fraudulent.
Right, the one that got pulled was actually a meta study, but one of the major studies included in that was the one that had fraud, that had so many issues that the actual co-author of that meta-analysis had to just clearly state on Twitter in response to people using it to make a case for ivermectin that no, it's been withdrawn because of these issues, do not cite this. But people cite it anyway.
They cited it, of course, and then Rogan brings on this guy who looks like a esteemed doctor and has Stanford or whatever on his resume. What he doesn't tell you is this nut job is 1%. The rest of the doctors are the 99% of doctors who say, no, that guy's a nut job. That's not at all true. There's study on top of study, meta study on top of meta study on how to actually treat coronavirus, and the way to prevent it is the vaccines, et cetera, right? So I don't know why, some I know why they lie. I don't know why others do it. I think probably because he wanted to prove how tough he was and an outsider, et cetera. But okay, whatever their motivations are. Most important thing is you guys, do not listen to grifters. Do not listen to randos on Facebook, okay? If you're saying, well, why should I listen to you? Don't. Go and actually do real research. Not looking at the world's most disingenuous talk show hosts, right? So, and if you think we're disingenuous, okay, look at what the meta studies say, okay, on any of these issues. And sometimes the governmental organizations are slow to say, hey, Monsanto is doing something wrong, right? Because there's something called government capture, et cetera. We point that stuff out all the time. But a lot of times, and you can tell when they're slow, you can tell in the context and we share it with you guys, when it looks like they're shading towards the pharmaceutical companies or when they're telling the truth. In this case, they're like, oh yeah, they just want the pharmaceutical companies to get rich off the vaccine. That's why you should take ivermectin instead. That's also from the pharmaceutical companies. Come on, guys. Snap out of it. And don't go buying products from grifters who are then actually gonna endanger you with radiation. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.